going out in a bar or, just having your own social life outside of those environments, politics are no longer welcome. Conversation of current affairs is no longer welcome because we can no longer handle it. This isn't something that, exists innately. It's been manufactured by the news ecosystem that strives to agonize us against the other side and further reassure us into our own echo chamber. And that's happened with social media, but also with traditional legacy news media for so long now that all the infrastructure that carries information, all like the information plumbing of the United States is designed to drive us further and further apart from each other, create fear, create anger, and create isolation or hyperpolarization ultimately. And we're here to offer an alternative, a source of information that empowers you to make up your own mind without being told how to feel or what to think about any given issue.
Well, I mean, the way to have you to control somebody is to get them to hate each other so that you can control what's going on, and they're focused on each other instead of focus on what you're doing. I mean, if you don't believe that, look at the fraud that's happened in the United States and Ukraine, and Minnesota, all those different places that it's happened recently. That's because they're looking over here instead of looking at what they're doing. And it's always, I always said this in the past, when someone's telling you how bad you are, that's their projection onto you, and that's exactly that's who they are. So that one group who's trying to tell you how bad you are and everything else, they're the ones doing all the stuff that they say they're doing. And here's the thing, in the United States or anywhere, I interview so many people, most of us are in the middle. I'd say 99% of us are in the middle. It didn't matter what party it is. There's just a 0.5% on each side that are so loud that you think it's really that way. And if you ignore that, you'll understand.
Totally. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And really there is no right answer in a sense of like, oh, if you're, super left or super right or super up or super down, doesn't really matter. The sort of sensationalism and this like polarized storytelling that's going on is making losers of all of us. And it's just a real shame because I think we have a lot more in common than we have apart, and we have different. And it's so unfortunate that a media ecosystem that we inherit and that we sort of operate within these days is designed to mislead us ultimately, to trigger, to agonize, to really cause an emotional response, but not to just inform and step away. So that's the problem that we're solving with informed.now.
And when did you start informed.now?
We're in our second year now, so we're coming up at 2 years soon.
How do you get the feeds? How do you get the information for the feeds?
Yeah, I mean, the most important is we're doing something so obvious that people sort of also forgotten can be done and should be done, which is we look at primary sources. So something north of 80% of our news coverage comes directly from primary sources, meaning these aren't journalists that are telling stories of how to feel, how to think, and we're trying to then triangulate and de-noise, de-bias, and de-storytell those news. Instead, we go directly to primary sources. And so for the issues that we focus on, which are large-scale world news that impact the everyday person, we look at the primary sources that sort of are the prime movers of those news. So what does that mean literally? It can be central banks, governments, public companies, various official organizations, folks that are actually publishing the information firsthand instead of people that are retelling that story in big media. So a very tangible example of that is when unemployment numbers change or are published, when census numbers, when inflation numbers, when things of that nature, that scale are published, they're published by very specific bureaus in the United States. It's either the Federal Reserve, or it is Census Bureau, Bureau of Economic Analysis, Bureau of Labor Statistics. These are the prime sort of publishers of this information.